So, this is my experience of being a Black Jew, a write-up for the congregation of Temple Sinai. It's the feeling of being different, of being other. I have a running joke with myself that I'm one of the most hated people in the world. I'm Black, Jewish, and very feminine. Growing up, I didn't want to be me. I resented parts of myself, hated parts of my identity. Although the Jewish part I always resonated with. So much so that when I was 5, I asked my mom how to become a more observant Jew. I guess that's what happens when both of your grandmothers are Holocaust survivors. Not only that, but both are published authors on their survival stories. I love being immersed in Judaism, especially from the young age that I was. When I was 7 years old, I joined Temple Sinai, and I immediately joined the children's choir. When I was 13, I had my bat mitzvah, and when I was 20, I joined the adult choir. I love Judaism and learning old stories from the Torah. Although, in my adult life, I know I can take or leave Judaism. It's a choice, you see. Even if your mother is Jewish, it is still a choice to pick every day. I don't have to walk around with a kippah on my head or a Star of David dangling around my neck. I can go by a different last name if I so choose, without any drastic measures. And if my survival depended on it, I can hide my Judaism. No one would ever see or know about it if I choose to turn my back. No one would know. Now, I've always known Jews have a shared kinship with the Black community. I get it. Both groups have been put on the margins and been oppressed at different times. Now, the reason I'm going on about this is that I once had a white professor of Jewish descent tell me that since he's Jewish, he understands the Black Canadian experience. Here's what I told him when he said that. And I want this to be shared with the whole congregation. You don't. White Jewish people of this time and era do not understand the Black experience. People of color cannot change their skin tones or their facial features very easily, if at all, for their survival. They cannot choose. They are a visible, marginalized group, whereas Jews are a marginalized group. See how I didn't add visible? Being a visible minority changes a person's way of life. How they behave, even things like code switching and preventative measures are taken by visible minorities that white Jewish people do not ever have to think about. Now, growing up, none of my Jewish fathers would ever talk about their experiences with the police on a weekly basis like my father did. It really was a weekly experience, hearing my dad being stopped by the police at the dinner table while he was driving earlier that day. And I, being young enough to not understand the whole complicated system that racism is built on, was so confused as to why my father would be stopped while he was driving. Now, to give you some context, my father is a professional driver. He taught me how to drive and is one of the safest and smoothest drivers I know. He does this as a job. So it would shock me when police would stop him to check his license. Another thing that none of my Jewish friends' fathers had is that they never had to cut or change their hair to give off different impressions. Growing up, my father had long dreadlocks, all the way to his waist. There was a point where he ran to be the vice president of his union, and he cut off all of his hair to do that. And I asked him why he cut off all his dreadlocks, as they have a significant meaning in the Rastafarian culture that he holds very dear. And he told me he would not have gotten voted into this high estate position if he had kept his hair, his culture. He knew he had to assimilate as best as he could to earn some respect. And he did get that position. But it was very stressful, and at what cost? The thing is that white people don't understand is Black people sacrifice their way of life every day just to get an inch of respect. Heck, it's called civil rights, not equal rights. Now, because of my Judaism and my Blackness, I live 2 very different lives. Although, I have to say that I am such a light-skinned person that I can choose my Blackness. I can straighten my hair, which is a part of me that exposes my Black heritage. Straightening my hair is all it takes for me to blend in with the white community. I can also choose my Judaism, as I said before. But no, I haven't changed my last name to something that sounds more Goyisha, and I haven't stopped wearing my Magen David. I also stopped straightening my hair a long time ago because I choose both. I'm a proud Black Jew. Thank you.